All right, so this is the next Desmos activity where we are going through the whole process of factoring quadratics. There's a video here embedded into the first slide. You can always ask for questions or ask me to do any of the particular questions, and I'm happy to do that. So please comment or get in touch if you need anything. So here we've got our area model. We're putting 3x squared in the top left corner. We're putting 10 in the bottom right corner. And we're multiplying those together to get 30x squared. 3 times 10 gives me 30. Then on the next slide, we fill in the other two pieces. We need the things that add to make 11 because that's the middle term right there. And so how can we get 30 multiply 30 to get 11? So if you think about 30, it's either 1 times 30, 2 times 15, 3 times 10, or 5 times 6. This adds to be 31, this adds to be 17, this adds to be 13, and this adds to be 11. And so those are the winners, is the numbers that add to make 11. So we got 5x and 6x. You could have put those in either order and it would have been just fine. Now the last step is actually finding the commonalities for each of the rows and each of the columns. So the red lines, the first red line, the 3 and the 5, I'm looking right here, the 3 and the 5 have nothing in common, but both of those terms have the letter x. So I'll write an x. The second red line, the 6 and the 10 both are even numbers, so you can have a 2 in common. The first blue line, looking at the first column on the left, both of those numbers have a 3 in common and they both have an x in common. So I'll write 3x. And the last one, both of those have a 5 in common. So then the factored form is taking those two outsides of the box and writing them in parentheses. You can always double check your work by distributing. X times 3x is 3x squared. X times 5 is 5x. 2 times 3x is 6x. And 2 times 5 is 10. And notice the 6 and the 5 add up to 11. So I know that I got it right. I'll do one more of these as an example. There's so many here for you to practice. Again, please, if something's hard, ask me and I'll make a video about a particular problem. But it really comes down to you practicing using the area model, practicing checking your work, and just working through it until you get better at it. So here's problem number 2. Start with 2x squared, multiply it by 18. Oops. Put 18 down here, then multiply it by 18. Make the product of the main diagonal. Next one, factors of 36 that add to 13. Let's see, it could be 1 times 36, 2 times 18, 3 times 12, 4 times 9, 5, 6 times 6. And so out of those, adds to 37. This adds to 36. Or sorry, 20, I mean. This adds to 15. This adds to 13. This adds to 12. So 4 and 9 are the winners. So I know it's going to be 4x and 9x, but it says it's a negative. So I'll do negative 4x and negative 9x. Now we're ready for the next step where we're looking for commonalities. So the first red line, both of those numbers have a 2 and an x. The second red line, both of those numbers have a 9 in them. And I'm going to make it a negative 9 because on the previous slide I had two negatives that multiplied to make a positive. Here I'm looking at the first blue line, that's the column on the left. Those both have an x. And the second blue line has a factor of 2 in common. 4 and 18 have a factor of 2. And it's a negative 2 for the same reason as before. So my factored form then is x minus 2 times 2x minus 9. There we go. So again, please ask questions. Please comment if anything was confusing, and I will help out. You got to practice this. It's going to pay off this year, and it'll pay off in a few years when you take more math.